The second edition of the Kenya Trade Week exposition is underway at the Kenyatta International Convention Center here in Nairobi. The focus has been trade windows such as African Growth and Opportunity Act, that is AGOA, and the European Economic Partnership Agreement. Our Julia has been covering this for us, and of course we have been giving you the updates. Let's begin right there. Let's cross live to the KICC and bring you the proceedings live right now.
Please.
In 1994, Vietnam exported $12 billion worth of manufactured produce. Africa exported $60 billion. In 2015, Africa had increased 50% to $90 billion. Vietnam had increased more than tenfold to $125 billion. I've always asked myself, what is it Vietnam did right that Kenya is not doing? Two things. One, a coherence between the educational policy and the labor requirements of the manufacturing sector.
Excellent, yes.
Secondly, a constant drive towards self-improvement, that we can be more productive, that we can be more competitive, that made in Kenya can stand above others. And three, are people who are trusting in themselves, that can rise above petty vices.
Right.
And realize the potential that you have, because Kenya can make it.
And so the social investment must be done. Thank you so much for that. Stefano, and I believe you also have some documents to share, but please go ahead very briefly, parting shot.
Thank you. It's right that all the Kenyan wing on this side has insisted on action. Over the last 3 years, the exports to European Union market have increased by 3%. Now we take 1/4 roughly of your exports already, and they're still unprocessed, to be developed and increased in the processed, as the big four are looking for. If we achieve that, this is because of concrete actions, and I want to gift to everyone here this book, which talks about the standard market access program that we already have deployed, and that has allowed this increase in Kenyan export, helping Kenyan exporters and producers to develop their standards to Kenyan markets. And I would perhaps also ask my friend, the PS for Trade, to help me to deliver one copy to the CS, and one copy indeed also for the African Development Bank. These are facts.
Right.
This is action that we deliver for the biggest export market Kenyans have already and should see growing day in, day out.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefano. Farm to Fork. Farm to Fork is the title of that report. Gabriel Nagatu, please.
Thank you, Julie. When I look at my crystal ball, 15 years from now, we will not be talking about Kenya alone. We'll be talking about East Africa. 15 years from now, it will be Kenya at the heart of it, Ethiopia to the north, and 1 or 2 countries to the south. This will be countries with no economic borders, with no tariffs and barriers at the border, and these will be the countries that will drive the growth of the African continent. I don't share my brother's concern about reverse migration to South Africa. If anything, I see a greater increase.
More of them coming up.
But we'll check in 15 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. You know, we are already on the journey right now. Our passports are Republic of East African passports, Republic of Kenya, Republic of Uganda. We're already making the journey. Governor, please, if I could ask you to come forward. I've been asked to take 3 comments. I'm going to ask you to be as brief as possible. Thank you. So the camera is good.
Thank you, Julie. Mine is going to be very brief. My name is Mudhomi Njuki, Governor of Tharaka Nithi County, where main economic activity is coffee, mainly, and tea. And I want to raise a concern that maybe should have been raised yesterday, because I saw there was a panel on that. on the market of coffee in America and in Britain. I would, first of all, ask for forgiveness or pardon by any American who is in this room, because I'll say Americans are addicts of coffee. You're more likely to get coffee on American table than water. However, if you walk to Starbucks, the leading coffee house in America, you'll find very many coffee brands. And of keen interest to me was coffee from Ethiopia. But there was no Kenyan coffee. So I sought to find out from the ambassador why the Kenyan coffee is missing from Starbucks. And he said the Kenyan coffee, there's too much of it in America, but it's normally used to blend the other coffee from other countries. So it gets lost in between there, and there's no Kenya brand. So I asked them, how did Ethiopia do it? And they said Ethiopia insisted that they will sell coffee to America, but it must be sold as Ethiopian coffee. America boycotted coffee from Ethiopia for 2 years. They persevered, but today, if you go to any Starbucks shop in America, the Ethiopian coffee is there. And just to summarize that, when I went to Britain, I asked for coffee and was asked Americano or cappuccino.